So this is yet another top 10 video that was dictated completely by you guys. I made a post where you guys could vote on which topic you wanted to lead next, and this one happened to win. And this is the top 10 fragrances that you should never wear on a first date and what you should wear instead. And to take it one step further, not only did you choose the topic, you also chose which fragrances were going to be in this video, because I made a separate post where you guys could comment and then upvote the ones that you agree with. So this video is 100% done by you guys. All I have to do is get in front of the camera and present it to you. And well, we should probably go ahead and do that because this here is important. This could save some of you guys out there. Let's just get it. First up, fragrance you should not wear on a first date is Le Male, the OG. And instead, you should wear Male Le Parfum. And I have to say, I 100% agree. That's not knocking the original here, but that is giving credit to Le Parfum, which I think is a fantastic flanker. Cardamom, oriental notes, vanilla, spices are some of the main notes. Lavender as well. It's sweet, it's inviting, it's spicy. It has a little bit of a playful nighttime edge, but also a little bit of a serious maturity as well. So it really strikes a nice balance here. The original Le Male has been around for so long now that if you wear that on a first date, you might smell like a lot of other guys out there, at least at one point. So going with something like this is going to set you apart and have you smelling fantastic. Not to mention that this is also a better scent for the evening in general. Next up, a fragrance that you should never wear on a first date is Sauvage Eau de Toilette. And again, I have to completely agree here. You know, this probably wouldn't be the best option for you. This still works great as a signature scent. Sure, a lot of people wear it, but it still pulls compliments. But for a date scenario, I wouldn't go with this. Instead, a great option here is Prada Luna Rossa Black. And this is another one where I have to 100% agree. This one has tonka bean, it's got amber, it's got a little bit of a floral note as well, but primarily it's powdery and it's sweet. I love how this one comes across. It's been one of my favorites for a while now. Even though it is more powdery and more sweet, it still has that Prada soapy, clean quality like you would expect from the brand. It also smells expensive and high-end without being too awfully expensive. This is a great pickup and absolutely phenomenal for a nice evening out or a first date. So for this next one, you should never wear Azzaro Wanted on a first date, and instead you should wear Azzaro Wanted by Night. Again, you guys are killing it here. Another one where I 100% agree. Again, this is not me hating on the original Wanted. Even though I don't really care for it myself, it still is a fragrance that you could wear for a lot of different situations. Something that is very versatile, great compliment getter. But when it comes to a date night, this makes so much more sense. I mean, after all, it's in the name, Wanted by Night. I mean, they spell it out for you here, legitimately. So please do yourself a favor. If you don't have this already, get it. Because seeing the feedback from you guys in the comments, this is all over the place. Every time we do one of these viewer-led videos, this one always seems to pop up. Every time I feature it in one of my videos on my own, I get a bunch of other comments of people backing it and saying that it's amazing. I can make a video where this isn't anywhere near it. I can make a video where this doesn't even show up and people are still talking about it. I mean, this stuff is hot right now and for good reason. This one here will kill it on a first date, so make sure you get on that. Next up, you should probably not wear something like Tom Ford Tuscan Leather on a first date. Now, you know, maybe this would be okay. All right, you know, something like Sauvage, do not wear that. That would be terrible on a first date, but Tuscan Leather, maybe you could get away with it a little bit. And if you can't sense the sarcasm here, I'm going to just tell you straight up, yeah, this here would be a ballsy move to wear on a first date. And I would say that's probably not your best move. However, if you want to stick to a leather scent, if you want to stick to something that ultimately has kind of a, dare I say, and I'm already cringing, a bad boy type of effect, then you can go with something like Ombre Leather, okay? And I understand the thought of this on a date. I really do. Now, obviously, whoever commented this probably wasn't thinking that, oh, this would be a good first date fragrance, but I'm sure some people think about that and they're like, oh, you know, maybe I would wear Tuscan Leather. You know, I want to stand out. I want to be different. And I understand that, right? But it is strong, man. It would be tough to pull off. Some people are uncomfortable pulling this off in a regular day-to-day scenario, much less an intimate date. So this here, Ombre Leather, is going to be your best bet. This one is also much more affordable than Tuscan leather, so that's another plus. This is a great mass-pleasing compliment getter and all around a fantastic scent that would work really nice on a first date. So next up, you should not wear Creed Aventus on a first date, but instead you should wear something like Parfums de Marly Sedley or Rossa Parfums Elysium. Now I gotta be honest with you guys, I love all of these, and for me personally, all of these would work great on a first date. I'm not going to interject here and say that this was a bad idea or a dumb one, but I do see where they're coming from in the fact that Aventus is going to be worn more, I suppose, or at least the clones are going to be worn more than something like Elysium and Sedley. So I understand where they're coming from here. Or maybe they're an Aventus hater and they commented that just because they want to despise this fragrance. So I don't know where they stand. I frankly don't care. That's kind of where we're standing here. I mean, look, there are people out there who are wearing something like, if I can find it, Dior Sauvage on first dates. I know for a fact people are doing this, right? It's obvious. It has to be. For these two here would also work fantastic as well. I have a lot of love for both of these and all of these. So really, it's going to be kind of a take your pick type of thing. But, you know, hey, I don't have any say in this. This is all up to you guys. I'm just the messenger here. Next up, you should not wear Bentley for Men Intense on a first date. Rather, you should go with another intense fragrance, Prada L'Homme Intense. Now, I'm 100% down for this one. I agree. And this is coming from someone who is a big-time Bentley for Men Intense lover. I love this stuff. I'm not a fanboy. I love it, though. What's the difference, you ask? Well, the difference is if I were a fanboy, I would say that every single person will love this, and if you don't love it, you're stupid. That's what a fanboy would say. Let's be honest. They're all over the place, maybe not so much with this, but with some other fragrances. Every time I mention this one, I always give the disclaimer that, yeah, it's going to have a bit more of a mature, smoky type of smell to it, and yet people still comment saying that this is a stupid recommendation and it smells like an old person and smells like a church, when I tell them that it's not going to be for everyone and maybe you should take a look and evaluate your current state of your collection and the current state of your nose to understand if you're going to like it. But I digress. Yeah, it would not be a good first date fragrance. That should be obvious. Please don't do it. Save me the comments for later. Instead, go with something like Prada L'Homme Intense. I do agree. I think this is fantastic. The original Prada L'Homme would be a contender. However, I like this one better for a first date or a date in general because it's warmer and sweeter. It's got leather, it's got tonka bean. It's less soapy, fresh, and clean compared to the original Prada L'Homme. There's a bit more of an evening kind of sex appeal to this one, which I think would be more appropriate for a first date. Really nice choice here. Next up, you should not wear Versace Eros on a first date, and instead you should wear Parfums de Marly Layton. Another one that I do agree with. Now, for a couple of reasons. One is going to be the typical everyone wears Eros type of thing, right? That's an argument that's going to be made, and yeah, that's for sure. A lot of people do wear it. But kind of the main one is that Eros is a fun, party smelling scent. No matter which way you cut it, no matter how you approach it, it has a playful type of smell to it. Now, if you're going on a date where you're going to a party together and you're going to be having fun all night, maybe that would be an exception. But when I think of a date, especially a first date, I think of a dinner. Just the two of you, one-on-one, in a dimly lit, nice restaurant, sitting across from each other. That doesn't scream Eros to me. But that does potentially scream Layton to me. Now, you know, one of the main things people will say about both of these is that they're too strong. Oh, Eros is way too strong for a close encounter. Parfums de Marly Layton is way too strong for a close encounter. And in most situations, you would be right, but not if you only do a couple sprays. This is another thing that will blow people's mind, but you don't have to bathe yourself in every cologne that you wear. You could just simply go with 1 or 2 sprays of a scent that is normally strong, and it'll be tamed down enough to work in a situation like that. And one trick that I've said a million times is to take the scent, shove it up under your shirt, and apply it that way. See this right here? This is the move, okay? I just sprayed 1, sprayed 2. Now that's underneath my shirt, my sweatshirt, and my jacket actually. So you have a nice bit of insulation here, and that's going to tame that scent down and make it to where it's not projecting and being super loud. Just another trick that you can consider for fragrances that are super strong. Your chest and shirt may be a little wet for a minute. It might feel a little bit weird or perhaps maybe a little bit good, but that'll go away in a minute. You should not wear Fahrenheit Eau de Toilette on a first date, but you should wear La Nuit de l'Homme Bleu Electrique. And I agree. Now you'll look at some of these and they may seem random, and again, I didn't make this video. But, you know, they do kind of seem random. So that's just kind of how this works, but it is the truth here. The fan base is speaking facts. This here is essentially a walk down memory lane of the original La Nuit de l'Homme before they changed it over the years. It has a little bit of a modern twist, a little bit of a refresh, but ultimately is still that original DNA with good performance and a nice bit of depth and richness here, which the original kind of lost over the years. There's already people saying that this one is overhyped and it's super weak and it shouldn't be talked about and all that sort of thing. So I guess I won't talk about it anymore. I'm just kidding. This fragrance is freaking awesome, and you should definitely pick it up if you're a fan of the original La Nuit de l'Homme. You should never, ever, ever even think about wearing 1 Million by Paco Rabanne on a first date. However, you should have in your mind the idea of ADG Profondo on a first date. Again, yeah, it's a little bit random, I understand. And I do agree. If you were to choose between the two for a first date, I would choose ADG Profondo 100%. It is going to be the less worn, less predictable, less kind of, you know, F-boy smelling scent for a first date, 100%. However, if you're putting this up against all of the other fragrances in this video, this isn't going to rank very well in my opinion. And that's pretty obvious. I mean, most of us do understand we kind of want a warmer, sweeter, spicier scent for a first date, but again, between the two, I agree wholeheartedly. Last up for this one, you should never wear the original Invictus on a first date, and instead you should wear Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Parfum. 100% agree. Okay, now this is kind of a tricky one because both of these are incredibly popular, and essentially both of these were a victim of their own success. I mean, really, that's what it was. This here, the trophy bottle, is a huge compliment getter, great performer, great smelling scent, all that stuff. A lot of people love it. This one here is not a great performer, but it does smell fantastic and it works great and it's a great compliment getter. So both of them got hyped up quite a bit. However, when it comes down to it, even if both of these are worn all the time, even if Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Parfum was worn more than Invictus, I would still choose this one because it's much more suitable for an evening out. The beauty of it is you don't need a beast mode performer for an evening out. See, this is where it gets funny because people will say that a fragrance is too strong for a date, right? This is too strong. Don't even think about wearing this for a date. But then you have something that is too weak for a date. Get it together. Yeah, for sure, a fantastic date night fragrance here. Dolce & Gabbana The One Eau de Parfum. You guys killed it. So that's it for me, guys. That is 10 fragrances you should never wear on a date and ones you should wear instead. It was all done by you guys. So if you have a problem with any of these, take it up with my subscribers in the comments. This is one of those videos where I'm not in that, you know. Sometimes maybe I have choices that you don't agree with in other videos, but, you know, not today. I'm the messenger. I'm the mailman. If someone's sending you mail asking for money, you don't get mad at your mailman. You get mad at the person sending it. And in this instance, I'm not the person sending that mail. I'm just the deliverer here. Really though, you guys did awesome on this one. This was a fun video, quite different than what I normally do here. So let me know down below if you want me to continue doing these subscriber-driven videos. Let me know which one you want to see next. And that's gonna do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.